Hey guys, and welcome back to the World War II Solitaire Board Game channel. Gonna do an August update, channel update, and as you can see, I got a shave, so I don't got that long beard anymore. I'm doing good. Uh, I'm out working again in a different location, doing case evac. So we're evacuating wounded soldiers from near zero line to stab points, and things are pretty okay. Our guys are doing pretty good in the area where I'm currently serving. And about the board game world, I am still waiting for the Company of Heroes Kickstarter. Again, I put like $1,000 into that Kickstarter, man. I don't know what I was thinking, and that delivery is going to be huge because I bought the first edition upgrade kit, which includes everything that you need to upgrade to second edition, and that box itself is going to be huge. And then I got one of every expansion, and I got the second edition base pack, and I got every piece of expansion box of the second edition as well, because like the general idea was that I wanted to have two out of everything. So I already have everything from first edition, and then I wanted everything from second edition because I figured then I can play 4-player games and 8-player games, and you won't run out of flags and minis and so on. But that is going to be one huge delivery, and if I understand the Kickstarter, I haven't been able to read up too much about the updates, but if I understand it correctly, they should be they should send it soon. So either now in August or in next month. So I gotta try to figure out how to have someone receive that for me back in Sweden. Um, I think sometimes it can be a bit of a problem. Like if you have to pick it up somewhere, you need to have an ID or a passport, something like that. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna work that out. I just hope that someone can do it for me without having my identification form. Uh, British Tank Ace is around the corner by Gregory Smith. I saw someone made some videos on that already. I forgot who. I haven't been able to have time to look at them, but yeah, I'm not a fan of British tanks, but I'll still am eager to play that game because I do like narrative games, and Gregory Smith is one of my favorite designers. I did enjoy American Tank Ace a lot, so naturally I'm gonna have to get this one too and try to survive with all of the tanks in the different campaign modes. I already did survive with all the tanks in his first game, and also with advanced rules, which increases how often the enemy will target you. So that was quite a challenge, but it was fun. There's another tank game that's gonna release hopefully this year, and I think it's called Steel Front Sherman 1944. And it's, I think the guy who designs it is Spanish, maybe. Forgive me if you're Portuguese or Latin American, but I think you're Spanish. Uh, my memory, I forgot his name now, but yeah, it looks pretty cool, and it was supposed to release this summer, but I sent a message to him, and apparently it's been delayed, which I mean is common in the board game industry, and I rather have a polished game than a game that comes out quickly and then there's holes in the rules and other stuff. So that's the three games that are on my mind currently: Company of Heroes Second Edition, British Tank Ace, and Steel Front Sherman 1944. I think the last game is called. And yeah, I try to keep the list I have on Boardgame Geek updated. I have a complete list there of every released World War II solitaire board game. So it's print and play games, it's postcard games, magazine games, it's folio games, and boxed games. All of those games in one list, so you can find them all. And I have a way of searching for these new titles, and it's a bit time consuming, so I don't do it as often, obviously, as when I'm home. But I try to do it at least every month, if I can, to update that list. And I gotta say, I would say maybe the last 6 months, we haven't seen that many new titles announced. Before that, the 6 months before that, there was like an explosion of new games. So we have been in a bit of a slow patch these last 6 months. But I guess that's how it goes. I hope you can hear me. It's a little bit windy out here today. So yeah, I did publish a few videos of these, like, plastic brick construction models I was building. I built an armored transportation personnel carrier. I built a Humvee and a tank, and that's by a Ukrainian company called iBlock. There's two other. There's one called Limotoy and one called Teco, I think. And I bought a bunch of models from all of them. I probably bought about maybe 30 models or something. And they're all vehicles, military vehicles that are used in Ukraine from different nations. Ukrainian ones, and also, Polish, German ones, and so on. And I am going to post videos of building those on YouTube moving ahead. I noticed that some of these videos got a lot of downvotes, and I've been really strict on the channel before that I only do World War II stuff, I only do solitaire games, and I only do board games. So I kept to these 3 rules, and I just figure right now that, like, I'm not in a position to play any World War II solitaire board games. I still want to put something on the channel, so I thought it would be fun to make these videos, and for you just to see that I'm alive and haven't given up on the channel. And I ask that if that bothers you, please just scroll to the next video, because if you downvote it, you're only hurting the channel, because downvotes on videos are gonna affect how many times my videos pop up for people who aren't subscribing. So I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be more of those videos, and instead of disliking, putting a dislike on them, please skip the video. Or if you're that bothered by it, it's better that you unsubscribe to the channel. And I think also, when I get back to Sweden, I think I might want to branch out a little bit in that regard. I've been so strict about the channel and what stuff I feature. And yes, it is still going to be a channel that is primarily about World War II, about solitaire board games, and about board games. But I might want to branch out and do some other stuff too. I don't know, review a World War II book, review a World War II video game, whatever. If I find that enjoyable and someone might enjoy watching it, I don't see what the problem is. And regarding these plastic brick models, I figure some people might think that's a little bit weird. It's basically it's Lego is what it is. Basically, it's a children's toy. But I mean, for me, I enjoy building them. I don't have the time, and I don't have the mental focus to do an Airfix model, even though I enjoy doing that too. I do not have the time. I do not have the mental energy to do that now. I don't know if I ever will again. I did when I was a kid. I find that building these plastic brick sets, it's very calming to me, because then I have something to focus on. My mind is not racing, on other stuff, and then you have a cool model to display. So I figure that's my kind of therapy, and I rather give $10, to a Ukrainian company than to shrink. So again, I'm gonna be posting more of those videos, and I hope you enjoy them. They're kind of cool, I think, and I mean, that's I like collecting stuff too, so I think that's also what got me. That's probably what got me into this interest. That I bought my first World War II solitaire board game, which I believe was Field Commander Rommel by DVG. I believe that's the first one. And then I caught the bug. I found another one. I found Pavlov's House. I found Airborne Commander, and then D-Day Dice. And then then I had to do this list on Board Game Geek of every game. I had to rank them, which one I wanted to buy next. And honestly, that is exactly what I've done with this brick set. So I found these three companies. Again, it's Limotoy, Teco, and iBlock. And I made like on my Google Drive like a complete database of all of the models and rank them according to how many pieces the models are and how bad I want them. It's actually been quite a challenge because there's no like database of these things. You just have to randomly search on Google and try to locate them all. So it's been kind of a fun thing to do for me. I have strange interests, I guess. Well, I think that's about it. So we'll see what's gonna happen next. I'm still not sure when I'm gonna get everything started again with the actual videos of board games and so on. But there's gonna be a time for that too. And I mean, I'm 35 years old, so hopefully have many more years to keep you guys entertained with those videos. And well, let me think just for a moment if there's something I want to add. I don't think there is. Oh, I'm studying Ukrainian so I've studied Ukrainian. I did first 2 courses on a community college, so I finished those. And then I studied 1 university course, so I finished that too. And next month, I'll start 2 courses, one at Lund University and one at Göteborg University, also in Ukrainian language courses. And they're distance courses, so you study them on your computer online. But you still have exams and so on, and you get university points for it. So I figure right now I did like almost 1 year of self-studies, and that's just basically Duolingo. I did Pimsleur audio course, and I bought a bunch of textbooks basically and practiced with. And I figure right now I'm probably at like A2 level, about to get to B1. So that's pretty cool too. And I do enjoy learning, and it's like I figure when I'm reading these textbooks, I feel like it's a lot like learning how to play a very complicated board game. Because when you get to Ukrainian, you have these 7 grammatical cases, like locative, dative, and accusative, and so on. I believe in English there's 3 cases. In Swedish there's 2 cases. What I do when I get to these textbooks, I just write everything down like in a neat list and try to describe it in a good way. And that's if I have a very complicated board game like Patterns Best, that's exactly what I did. Highlights, and I did on post-it notes, I did things that, rule exceptions that are very easy to forget. Like, for example, if in Patterns Best, if you move into a new area and want to use area fire to scare some of the infantry away, you gotta have HE loaded in your gun. You can't have AP or smoke loaded. You gotta have HE. So that's kind of cool. So that's gonna be fun too to see where that ends. I've also enjoyed it because it makes me think that when all of this is over, when the war is over, there might be some opportunities for me here in Ukraine, like I got my company back in Sweden, which I might also branch out with, maybe do some import and export and so on, because I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities here once we have beaten the works, and there's gonna be a lot of building stuff up here because there's whole large cities that's just been razed to the ground. Well, I'm looking at the timestamp. That's 15 minutes of me basically just randomly talking. I try to keep a red thread, but it's not always that easy. But yeah, know that I'm doing good, and yeah, right now I take things day by day. I try not to think too much about the future because there's a lot of things that are out of my control. I would very much like to stay here and fight and help these guys until the war is over, but that's impossible to promise or say or decide, because this could end in a month or it could end in 10 years, and unfortunately it's all up to Putler, because he's the only one who can stop it. And I think it's a very complex situation. I think he's built his whole country's economy around this idiotic war, and I think right now if he stops the war, I think the economy might collapse and his regime might collapse. So I think, from what I reckon, the only way he can keep power is by keep this war going, and that worries me greatly, because that makes me think this might go on for a very long time, and many innocent people will die. Just last of July, I think 31 people died in Kyiv alone one night from these terror bombings by drones and missiles, and I think many of those were children, and also 200 wounded. Also, many of them were children. So it's a horrible, horrible war that needs to stop. And I don't think any politician, any European politician, or Trump or Biden is innocent. I don't want to get too political here on the channel, but let's just say that I don't think anyone's done enough. I think Biden just gave just enough for Ukraine to go by, and I think Trump has been very disrespectful in the way he's been treating Ukraine and Mr. Zelensky, and I hope that he understands who Putin is and what Russia is, and understand that that man and that country is a threat to every democracy in the world, and the freedom of all of Western Europe and Central Europe and all of the free world. And I believe every dictator in the world is watching now. China is watching, North Korea is watching. Can Putin get away with it? And if Putin can get away with it, we're gonna see China invade China invade Taiwan. We're gonna see North Korea attack South Korea, because there's no one to stop it. There's no one to do and make any consequences about it. So I think this is a very dangerous situation that is gonna affect the whole world, not only Ukraine, and that is one of the reasons why I'm here. But that's just how I reckon it, and I know far from everything. You might have a very different opinion than me, and that's fine. But all politics aside, when it comes down to it, you have a country invading another country, killing civilians every day, intentionally. And for me, you don't need to talk about politics. It's easy to see who's the good guy, who's the bad side. And there's not many of those wars, I believe, the last century, where you can clearly see one side is bad, one side is good. World War II was one of them, and I believe this war is one of them. All right, guys, that's almost 20 minutes of me blabbering about everything. I hope to talk to you guys soon. You're free to contact me, comment on the video, or send me an email if there's anything. And again, I hope to share some more stuff with you in the future. Just hold on and we'll do it. Okay, guys, Slava Ukraini.